Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the session on non-parametric tests. The last three sessions, we were discussing about the fundamentals of a spaces package, how the screen looks like, what are the various menu options available, how to enter data, how to import data from an Excel sheet, and what are the basic operations and what kinds of descriptive statistical tools that can be applied on a statistical data. We are all discussing about all these things. Then in the last two sessions, we discussed about various parametric tests. What are those tests? On what occasions we are supposed to conduct those parametric tests? And we had seen a live example of demonstration of all the major parametric tests. In this session, particular session, I would like to concentrate on non-parametric tests. Before we get into the practical aspects, let us see what is the background of this non-parametric test. As you know very well, the non-parametric test ought to be conducted as an alternative of parametric test. Whenever you are not able to conduct parametric tests due to certain limitations you have with regard to your data, then as an alternative case, we can come to non-parametric test. For example, you have collected the data either in ordinal or nominal form. So for the ordinal and nominal data, it is not suggested and you cannot conduct parametric. So now obviously you have to conduct non-parametric test. In some cases, you have collected the data in numeric, but when you check for its normality, maybe with the help of histogram or skewness, kurtosis or case, one sample case test, the result says that the data is not normally distributed, or we talked about homogeneity of variance in two occasions, one with regard to independent sample t-test and with regard to one-way ANOVA. If those tests reveal that this particular variance is violated, if you cannot assume the homogeneity of variance, then obviously you cannot conduct parametric test. So in all these cases, instead of parametric, we have to conduct non-parametric tests. So I have categorized all non-parametric tests under three different categories. I just divided them. Under test of association, we have chi-square test, a very popular test. Whenever your data in nominal, between two nominal data or between two ordinal data or between one nominal, one ordinal data, whenever you want to check the association between these kinds of variables, you can go for chi-square. And we have a test of difference and we have test of correlation. This is what we are going to see in this particular session. And you know, chi-square is a test which is used to check whether is there any association between two variables. For example, I take a nominal data by name gender. So gender is a nominal data because we just nominate one to be male, two to be female. We just allocate some numbers. There's no ranking. So it's an plain nominal data. And there is another nominal data, for example, educational qualification, for example, maybe up to 12th standard, UG, PG, MPhil, PhD, education qualification. This is also a nominal data. So when you want to check whether is there any association between gender of the respondents and the education qualification, when both these data are nominal, you can go for chi-square to test whether gender influences the education qualification. Is there any association between gender and the education qualification? In the other case, when you have one data, a nominal data, and another is the ordinal data, for example, once again, nativity, rural, urban, semi-urban. It is a nominal data. And you have an ordinal data, that is ranking data, maybe something like Likert scale, 5-point scale, 3-point scale, or 7-point scale, something like strongly disagree to strongly agree 5-point scale, or very, very happy to very sad, maybe 7-point scale, or maybe aware, not aware, neutral, 3-point scale. So these kinds of ranked data are called ordinal data. So when you want to check the association that may exist between one nominal data, that is nativity, and another ordinal data, which is collected in the form of Likert scale, using Likert scale, then you can go for chi-square test. In chi-square, we got three models. One is chi-square goodness of fit, and 2 into 2 cross tabulation, and 2 into 3 cross tabulation. Fine. And I will just explain about these three cases when you take up the practical issues. Then let us go to test of difference. Here, as I told you, see, when certain conditions are fulfilled, then you have to conduct independent sample t-test or paired sample t-test, then one way ANOVA test. What are the conditions? The data should be numeric, and the data should be normally distributed, and there is an assumption of homogeneity of variance. When these assumptions, when these conditions are not met, you cannot conduct parametric. Then as an alternative, you can conduct non-parametric test. So I have given the alternative test. When you are not able to conduct independent sample t-test, as an alternative, you can conduct Mann-Whitney-U test. Both are same. When you are not able to conduct paired sample t-test, maybe because the data doesn't fulfill the conditions, then you can conduct its equivalent called Wilcoxon test. When you are not able to conduct one way ANOVA because of the limitations of your data, as an equivalent, you can conduct Kruskal-Wallis-Hutch test. Fine. Both are same. The only thing is whether the data fulfills the conditions or it doesn't fulfill the conditions. Based on that, you can decide whether you go for parametric test or you go for non-parametric. The same way, we discussed about correlation and regression. As far as correlation is concerned, when the data fulfills the conditions, that is both are numeric data and data is normally distributed, then you can go for Pearson correlation, partial correlation, all those things. But when the data what you have collected is in the form of ordinal rank, we have not collected data in numeric form, we have collected ordinal data. When you want to see the correlation between two ordinal data set, we cannot conduct Pearson correlation. Instead, we can go for two other kinds of tests. One is Spearman rank correlation, which is an equivalent of Pearson correlation. And secondly, there is something called Kendall-Taubes test. And this is also a correlation test, but this is to be conducted especially when there are a lot of tied ranks. See, we are asking the respondents to rank a product, to rank a service, to rank a person, to rank a performance. When you get a lot of tied ranks, you can go for Kendall-Taubes instead of Spearman rank correlation. And both Spearman rank correlation and Kendall-Taubes both are non-parametric tests. Fine. Good. Now let us see all these tests, statistical tests one by one, practically with the SPSS. Before that, let me come back to this chi-square where I talked about three different varieties of chi-square. And one is chi-square goodness of fit. So this test is to be conducted when you want to compare whether the data, what you have collected, what you have observed, whether they fit into a well fixed, a predicted, already available pattern. A particular pattern is available already in a society, in a community, in an environment. You have collected some data from the participants. You want to check whether this observed value is in line with the prediction or is in line with the standard which we already have. For example, if you take a sports complex where a lot of athletes are practicing, you can say that their BP level is fixed at a particular point. Fine. For example, you can say, for example, we say 100 is taken as the BP level. For example, I say for example, it is taken as the standard level. Or you can say an athletes, those have been practicing for a couple of years in a sports complex, would you be able to cross 100 meters dash in a particular, say maybe 20-30 seconds? There is a standard. Now what you can do is that you can call some 20-30 respondents. You can ask them to run and cross 100 meters. You can check how many seconds they have utilized, and you can compare whether the observed seconds of different participants are correlating or in line with the standard 20 seconds what you already fixed. So when you want to check whether your observed data is fitting with the standard, a prediction or a pattern, you can go for goodness of fit. In other cases, 2 into 2 or 2 into 3 cross tabulation, here you can check whether there's an association between either two variables or whether there is an association between two variables based on the third variable. So these are the three different kinds of I-square tests you can have. Now, let us have a demo of all these kinds of tests. So let us go to SPSS. This screen appears. I select open another file. I click OK, and I go to a folder where I have kept all my working files. I go to desktop, then I select SPSS online course, final data set. Then I go to I-square. Good. Open. Now you see that the screen has appeared. You can see the screen here. First, let us contact I-square goodness of fit. Before we start, I will tell you very important way of entering data which we have not discussed so far. The one thing what we have seen previously was that you collect data from the respondents and you start entering line by line. If there are 10 participants, first participant, second participant, third participant, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. If there are 1,000 participants, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, you can keep on entering data for all the 1,000 participants. Fine. This is one way of entering data in SPSS. But instead of doing that, what we can do is that when data is enormous, we can just count the numbers and only the frequency can be entered. Only the frequency can be entered. Fine. Okay. For example, I'll tell you here, I have collected data from some 100 odd participants. They're all going to purchase same brand car, but I have given them 4 different colors. You can choose any one of these 4 colors. Same brand, same design, same engine model, but only color will be different. Here, out of 100 participants from whom I have collected data, 10 students, 10 respondents preferred black color, 15 blue color, 48 red color, and 27 white color. So I have not entered data for all the 100 participants like 1, 2, 3, 4, 70, 80, 90, 100. I have not done that. What I have done is that I have just counted the frequency, simple frequency count. How many preferred black, blue, red, white? I counted the frequency and the frequency is entered here. That means instead of entering data for each and every respondent individually, I have counted the frequency. Only the frequency counts are entered here. This is another way of entering data. But in all the previous cases, we had data individually and we went and did the analysis. But here you can see the data is in frequency counts. When the data is in frequency count, before we go to analyze the data, the one thing what you need to do without forgetting is that you should do a procedure called weight cases. That means you should tell the system that 10 means there are 10 respondents. It should not be 10 should not be taken as number 10. It should be taken as 10 cases, 10 respondents. To do so, you have to go to data. Please go to data. Come down. There is something called weight cases. Data, weight cases. Fine. Here right side option is available. Weight cases by. Click on weight cases. I'm going to be a first demo. Select frequency 1 and select this. Now give OK. You can see here now it says that weight by frequency 1. Fine. That means that the system is going to use weight command. So now if you have collected the data and counted and kept only the frequency here, before going to analysis, you go to data and you come to weight cases and you decide on which frequency the analysis is to be conducted. Is it fine? Fine. Now our purpose is over. Now let us do a test. So what is the test I want to conduct? I want to conduct a test to check whether is there any association it's not, in fact, it's not test of association. It's a test of goodness of fit. See, 4 colors are there. If no preference is there means, what does it mean? It means that all the 4 colors are equally chosen by the participants. Isn't it? If there's no difference among the participants, if all the colors are equally preferred, then what kind of answer we should get? 25 respondents selecting black color, 25 blue color, 25 red color, 25 white color. Okay, fine. But here we have not got that such kind of pattern. We have got different kind of pattern. So we want to know whether this is significantly different from the prediction. What is the prediction? There is no preferred pattern. All the colors will be chosen equally by the respondents. That is our assumption. So we want to check whether this observed pattern is coinciding with the prediction, with the pattern. What is the pattern? All the colors are same. The respondent will choose all the colors in equal numbers. So to check this, what I am going to do is that I am going to conduct goodness of fit, go to analyze, in analyze, non-parametric test, go to legacy dialogues and chi-square. Once again, go to analyze, non-parametric test, legacy and chi-square. Here, I want to send colors as a test variable. I have sent it. There's no need to select frequency because frequency was already weighted. So no need to set it again. And okay, that's it. So it says that observed and expected. What is expected? When all colors are same and 25 respondents, each should select all the 4 colors. But here it's not so. Instead of 25, 48 people prefer red color. So there is an extra of 23 respondents. We expect 25 respondents to choose blue color, but 15 have taken. So there is a minus 10. So this way there is a comparison between observed and expected. We come down. Let us see the statistics, chi-square value, degree of freedom, and the sig value. The sig value is 0.000. It's lesser than the threshold level of 0.05. It means that the null hypothesis is rejected and alternative hypothesis is accepted. It means that there is a significant difference between observed data and expected data, and the observed data doesn't fit into the prediction what we have already. That's the answer we get for this data. Fine. And I would like to show you another goodness of fit here. For example, normally we say there is a community, a caste or community or village. There's a pattern. What's the pattern? For example, if there are 100 people in a village, there are 100 people, only 10 people are pure vegetarians and 20 people are, they will take both veg and non-veg. And remaining 70% are, 10 people are vegetarians, 20 people are only non-vegetarians, and 70% will take both veg and non-veg. For example, this is a pattern we have in a particular community, particular society. So what I have done is that I have gone to that particular society. I collected data from 120 participants. Now I want to check whether the observed data, the data I collected from 120 respondents, whether this is fitting into my prediction, my pattern. What is a pattern? I have a pattern which we have been observing quite a number of years in that particular society. What's the pattern? In a society, there are 100 people, 10 takes only veg, 20 takes only non-veg, 70 takes both veg and non-veg. When you want to conduct a goodness of fit for this particular data, I should only before you go for this analysis, if the data is available in frequency counts, you have to go to select weight cases. So let us do that first. Let me go to data. In data, I go to weight cases. For the previous case, we have selected a particular frequency. I reset this. And here I have to go for frequency 3. I select frequency 3. I send it to this weight case area. Okay, select weight cases, select the label, select the variable and send to the box. Say okay. It means that now we are going to assume that the frequency counts will be taken into consideration. Now let us conduct the goodness of fit test. Go to analyze, non-parametric, legacy dialogues, come to chi-square. Here I have to select the variable. What is the variable? Eating group. I have selected eating group as a variable. But here I want to tell the prediction, my pattern, my standard I should enter. Where to enter? Give a click on value. What the first value? You have to select 10 people take only veg, add, and 20 people take only non-veg. Okay. Then 70 people take both veg and non-veg, add. So this is a pattern I have, a standard I have. I want to compare this standard with the observed data. Give okay. You can see here the expected number of participants, the observed participants, the difference plus or minus. And here you can see that the chi-square value, degree of freedom, and sig value. The sig value is 0.000, which is less than the significant level of 0.05. So null hypothesis rejected and alternative hypothesis accepted. It means that there is a significant difference between observed value and the prediction of the pattern what we have. Fine. And this is how we conduct goodness of fit test in chi-square. Fine. Now let us move on to 2x2 cross tabulation. For that, I have got two data here. I have collected data from 6 respondents, not 6 respondents, 6 groups. See, there are 2 political parties. I'm sorry, just for example, I have taken ADMK and DMK. And we asked a question. Do you feel that liquor shops are to be, bars, wine shops are to be open during lockdown period? And some people say, yes, we can open. Some people say, no, we cannot open. Some people don't know, no, we don't know comments, we don't know answer. The same questions we asked to the respondent, those who are in DMK, same question, whether you are against or you are in favor of or you are neutral with regard to the opening of wine shops or liquor shops. We got the frequencies. Okay, I have not entered individual data. I have counted the individual data and I have given only the frequency. Fine. The hypothesis says that there is no association between political party affiliation of the respondent and whether they are in favor of, or whether they are against, whether they are neutral with regard to the opening of liquor shops. So, political party, it is a nominal data. These answers is again it is a nominal data. So nominal to nominal, we can go for chi-square. There are only 2 variables. I'll go for 2x2 cross tabulation. Okay, where to go before we go for conducting the test? What is to be done? Yes, we have to give weight cases for this frequency 2. Let us go to data, go to weight cases. Let us reset it. I am going to conduct test on frequency 2. So select frequency 2 and send it to weight cases box. Say okay. Now it is on. Weight cases on. Weight by frequency 2. Fine. Now let us conduct the test. So go to analyze, descriptives, crosstabs. So if you want to conduct the goodness of fit, you have to go to analyze, non-parametric, under non-parametric legacy dialogues, then chi-square. But if you want to conduct a cross tabulation to check the association between the variables, go to analyze, descriptive statistics, and go for crosstabs. 2 row and column variables are to be entered. I got 2 variables. One is political party, another is opinion on opening of liquor shops. What is the influencing variable? Political party. So influencing variable, invariably it should be sent to columns, and the dependent variable or the opinion will be sent to row. Fine. And go to exact, anything if you want to continue, and go to statistics. You can select chi-square statistics, click continue, go to cells. If you want any column percentage, something like that, row percentage or total, if you want expected value, whatever you want, you can click, then continue and say okay. You can see the result here, 195 respondents, there's no missing case. Fine. Then comes a descriptive analysis. You can see here those who are in favor of the opening of liquor shops. ADMK 78, DMK 13, percentage is 65. More ADMK people prefer, less DMK people prefer. When it comes to against the opening of shops, you can see here DMK is more, ADMK is less. What about those who are having neutral comments? You can see here DMK 16%, ADMK 10%. So this is what we have got it. Now let us see the chi-square test results. You can see here chi-square value, Pearson chi-square value, degree of freedom, and sig value. Sig value is 0.000. It means that the sig value is less than the significant level of 0.05. That means that the null hypothesis is rejected and alternative hypothesis accepted. What does it mean? It means that there is an association between political party affiliation of the respondents and their comments on the opening of liquor shops. So there is an association between these two variables. So these are two cross tabulation, because you've got two variables. One is political party and another is opinion on opening of liquor shops. 2 into 2 cross tabulation. Fine, good. Now, as the last part of I-square test, let me move on to the 2 to 3 cross tabulation. Here I got 3 components. One is gender of the respondents, male, female. Then their political party affiliation, BJP or Congress. Then their opinion against or about GST, whether they are in favor of GST or they are against GST or they don't know anything about GST. So I got the data. Now, I want to check whether there's an association between political party and their opinion on GST with regard to gender. So I want to see whether gender is having any influential role on deciding the association between political party and opinion on GST. So okay, there are 3 variables. And I have not entered data individually. I have counted the data and I have given the frequency count. Since frequency counts is given, you know very well, before we start doing the analysis, you have to go to data, go to weight cases and reset this. We need frequency 4, select frequency 4, weight case by frequency 4, fine, it is set, click OK. You can see here, weight by frequency 4. Now let us do the analysis. How to do that? Where to go to analysis? Go to analyze, descriptive statistics. There, go to cross tabs, cross tabulation. There, reset. This is the result of the previous case. I reset it. Now, what are the variables? I want to check the association between 2 variables. One is political party, opinion. Political party is the influencing variable. I send it to column. Opinion, I send it to row. And gender is going to be the 3rd variable. You select gender and send it to the layer 1 of 1. Fine. Is over. I want to check the association between these 2 variables with the influence of gender. Fine. I just go to statistics, click I-square, continue, go to cells. If you want the percentage, you can have expected counts, whatever you want, you can select, continue, then say OK. You can see here, the entire result is split into 2. With regard to male, what is an association between political party and their comments on GST? And with regard to female, what is the association between political party and their opinion on GST? So for example, if you take BJP, as far as male responses are concerned, when 70% are in favor of the motion, 15% are against, and 9% don't have any comments. As far as Congress is concerned, with regard to male respondents, 32.3% they are in favor of GST, 48.4% they are against it, 19.4% is not having any comments. So this shows the splitted analysis of male and female respondents on the association between political party and the opinion on GST. Now let us go to the main table, the I-square table. For the male and female, they have given separate I-square values. As far as male is concerned, I-square value, degree of freedom, and sig value. As far as female is concerned, Pearson I-square value, degree of freedom, and sig value. In both the cases, the sig value is 0.000. That means it is less than the significant level of 0.05. It means that the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis is accepted. It means that there is an association between the political party and the opinion on GST when gender is taken into consideration, when male gender is taken into consideration, when female gender is taken into consideration. In both the cases, there is an association between these 2 variables. So this way, you can have 4 different models in I-square, 2 goodness of fit with no prediction pattern and with a pattern, and test of association where we have 2 into 2 and 2 into 3 patterns. So this is what all about I-square test. Now, maybe in the next part of the presentation, I will cover the remaining statistical non-parameter tests. Till then, boy, thank you so much.